Good morning. All the early birds are up right now, man. It's 5:07 a.m. and I got 10 vehicles for your commander decks. Vehicles, man. Vehicles a little underpowered. It's kind of their thing. They're nice. It's tough to build a deck around vehicles, but that doesn't mean you should discount them altogether. They have their place. That's one thing I will say about the game of Magic, the format of Commander more specifically, is that there's a place for almost anything in this format. I like to salt these little vehicles around my decks, and then I feel like a real hipster when they hit the table. Now let's talk about some role players, some sweet effects, and you can decide for yourself. But first, make sure you're subscribed to the channel. It's free for you, helps me tremendously, and I'm a good dude, man. You know, I'm alright. You know, if you ask my ex-wife, she'd probably be like, this guy's not a good dude. But you ask pretty much anybody else, they'll be like, you know, he's alright, he's fine. You know, thanks for all the patrons out there, the members, the subscribers. I love you guys so much, man. Alright, let's start it right off here with the Hedge Shredder. 2 green artifact vehicle. It's a 5/5. Whenever this vehicle attacks, you may mill 2 cards. Whenever one or more lands are put in your graveyard from your library, put them onto the battlefield tapped. Has crew 1. Remember the Lawnmower Man? Remember that movie? The Stephen King book was very different than the movie, I will say that. Seems a little corny now, you know, 2025, but it was good for the time. In any case, this effect applies to any self-mill. This is ideal for a deck where you're running Hermit Druids or any self-mill shenanigans. Great card, even as just a utility artifact, but then you got a beefy 5/5 you can crew up and slap in. And one of my all-time favorites here, the Nautiloid Ship. 4 generic mana, artifact vehicle. It's a 5/5 as well with flying. When this guy enters, exile target player's graveyard. Whenever this vehicle deals combat damage to a player, you may put a creature card exiled with this vehicle onto the battlefield under your control. Has crew 3. Brother, we are sticking to the mill theme here, but this time we're hitting opponents with mill. Mill them out a bunch, then get those creatures back when this hits an opponent. I packed like 3 of these back in the day, and you know, I thought that they would be pricey, but really at the time they weren't. Well, guess what, dude? I am now vindicated because this is in the $8 to $9 range. Great card, flies, and is a fairly beefy 5/5. Oh, we aren't stopping here though, brother. We got another vehicle for you. We got the Thunderhawk Gunship. 6 generic mana, artifact vehicle, flying. When it enters, create 2/2 white Astartes warrior creature tokens with vigilance. When this vehicle attacks, attacking creatures you control gain flying until end of turn. Has crew 2 and is a big old beefy 6/6 for $12. I made a video at the time this came out, a short video specifically about this card and why you should pick it up under $2. Well, now it's $11, man. Brings its own crew. It's a beefy 6/6. Gets all your little dudes up over the top rope, man. Fantastic card for your aggro decks. Oh, here's another big monster, the Mighty Servant of Luke O. 3 generic mana artifact vehicle. It's a 6/6, has trample and ward, discard a card. Whenever this vehicle becomes crewed for the first time each turn, if it was crewed by exactly 2 creatures, it gains whenever this creature deals combat damage to a player, draw 2 cards until end of turn. Has crew for 4. Now, we just need to wait another 4 years and somebody's going to hop on this, man. This is going to be another $8. Just kidding. This card's like 20 cents. I love this card if you're making 2/2 tokens. A 2/2 probably isn't going to get through, or at least is less likely to get through than a damn 6/6 with trample for 3 mana. Now this one is interesting, the Weatherlight Completed. So this is 2 generic mana, legendary artifact vehicle. It's a 5/5 with flying. As long as the Weatherlight Completed has 4 or more Phyresis counters on it, it's a Phyrexian creature in addition to its other types. Whenever a creature you control dies, put a Phyresis counter on Weatherlight Completed. Then draw a card if it has 7 or more Phyresis counters. If it doesn't, scry 1. Interesting card. You need creatures dying, right? In a deck where this is happening, this is pretty nuts. 7 creatures dying seems like a lot, but in most of these types of decks, that's like 2 turns, maybe 1 turn if you're looping creatures in and out of the graveyard. And for doing that, you get a beefy flyer and some draw. This card is magnifique. Alright, here's a newer one for you, the Salvation Engine. 4 and a white, artifact vehicle. It's a 6/10. Oh my god, dude. Other artifact creatures you control get +2/+2. Whenever this vehicle attacks, return up to 1 target artifact card from your graveyard to the battlefield. Has crew for 6, man. Jabez, damn 6/10. The thing that kills me for this card is that it's crew 6. That's mitigated by the +2/+2 for your artifact creatures. But if you're in a Boros artifact recursion deck, this card seems pretty nuts. Alright, man, let's talk about the belligerent. That's what people used to call me back in college, man. Here comes the belligerent over there. 2, a blue and a red, legendary artifact vehicle. It's a 5/5. When this thing attacks, create a treasure token. Fantastic. Until end of turn, you may look at the top card of your library at any time, and you may play lands and cast spells from the top of your library. Has crew for 3. Pretty neat little attack trigger, right? This attacks, get that treasure, dude. It's a pirate ship, man. You're a pirate, you gotta make that treasure. And you get a little card advantage. If your commander is 3 power, not attacking, this is a neat little boon for you. Oh, hell yeah. Look at this monster, dude. Oh, give me a hell yeah. 6 generic mana for an artifact vehicle. It's an 8/8. It's the cyber ship. Has flying, of course. Whenever this vehicle deals combat damage to a player, put the top 2 cards of that player's library onto the battlefield under your control face down. They're 2/2 Cybermen artifact creatures. Has crew for 4. You heard of the cyber truck? Well, now it's a cyber ship, dude, and Elon Tusk is riding this bad boy to Mars. Get your ass to Mars. You have to go to Mars. Listen, man, when I see an 8/8, I jump. That's a beefy ship. Probably has lasers. Makes little dudes. You can play around with ways to flip them over and those types of decks. That's better commander, brother. Alright, now we have a solid little role player here, the Cultivator's Caravan. 3 generic mana, artifact vehicle. It's a 5/5. Has tap, add 1 mana of any color, has crew 3. Man, this card, it's a damn mana rock early game, and then it's a 5/5 a little later in the game. It's probably the most interesting manalith I've ever seen in the format. If you're running artifacts, dude, just consider this card. It's neat. And we have an absolute classic here, Asika's Chariot. 3 and a green, a legendary artifact vehicle. It's a 4/4. When it enters, create 2/2 green cat creature tokens. Whenever this thing attacks, create a token that's a copy of target token you control. Has crew for 4. Fantastic card if you're making impactful tokens, but this brings its own little tokens. You know, floor on this thing is another little 2/2. You've got these tiny little kitty cats, and guess what, brother? They both took a dump in the litter box at the same time. That's disgusting. But also, there are decks where I'm making token copies and this gets me more ETB effects. Even though they crap in my house, I still love them. And last up here we have a Forge World model I could never afford, but I always wanted to paint, the Reaver Titan. 7 generic mana, artifact vehicle. It's a 10/10, has void shields, so protection from mana value 3 or less. Also has a Gatling blaster, buddy. Whenever this vehicle attacks, it deals 5 damage to each opponent, which is a fairly large chunk of damage. Has crew for 4. I love this guy. That protection was very clutch in many a game, helps him get through. That is $20, this card. It's a direct damage monster. Look at the size of that thing. I wish the art showed the scale a little better, but those little APCs at its feet are like 15 feet tall, so you do the math, man. These guys are like big old towers of doom. So listen, man, that's 10 vehicles. It's all I got time for because I got to go to work, man, unfortunately. Maybe you haven't seen some of these before. Maybe you're thinking about these in new ways now, dude. You got your creative juices flowing all over the place, man. Put down a towel, brother. Maybe you're sitting there like, Bacha! That's the sound of your mind blowing right now. This is Nikki G, sending love from the internet, signing off.